A record crowd of over 51,000 packed into Highfield Road to watch Coventry clinch that title against Wolves.
That was an extraordinary afternoon. I mean, it's an unforgettable one. It wasn't only an afternoon, because we didn't go to bed early that night.
I watched the game from on the terrace and in front of the Sky Blue stand. 51,455 people crammed in here, and they were literally everywhere. They were on top of the stand roofs, they were climbed up the floodlight pylons, they were on top of the little bars that was placed on the spine cop on the roofs.
Well, I always used to stand on a stool that was my granddad's, and I was stood there over at the spine cop end, and as the crowd got bigger and bigger, I was gradually being moved away from a stool, and I was being shifted down and supported miles from a stool.
But to have 51,500 people in at a stadium that, I look at the crowds these days, 14,000, 15,000, you wonder where they all come from. But it really was a most exciting occasion. We let the kids come down on the side of the pitch, basically, so that, we had to, because there were so many people, and it's not the biggest ground in the world.
They took me above their heads, carried me down onto a pitch, and I sat watching the match from the pitch side. And honestly don't remember much about the game. I was more worried about my dad standing behind me.
It made such an atmosphere for the game, and of course, with a little help from above, we didn't lose it in those circumstances. I mean, Wolverhampton were a much bigger club than Coventry in those days, and they had brought masses of people over expecting to be able to see the game, and they all did see the game, 51,500 people.
I mean, you could have killed for a ticket, and the ground was absolutely jam-packed. And the atmosphere, I mean, we couldn't be, and when we'd won the game and we knew we were going up, I mean, I've never felt a feeling like that before. It was the sort of thing in weak people would have induced a heart attack, But it carried us for months afterwards, that did, We were so excited about seeing the big teams and meeting the big boys, who we used to beat in the Premier League and First Division. It was the bread and butter sides that we had trouble with.
We've had it rough. The best things in life ain't free. The other clubs, they made it tough. It's our speciality. We've never been there, right at the top. But now that we are, no one can stop the team that Jimmy built for you. We're known as the Hill Sky Blue. Before, we'll fight for each ball. We'll score and score with fans like you. How can we lose? So feel Jimmy Hill, Sky Blues, Sky Blues. Watch out for the great Sky Blues.
Waters. Until 1967, that is, Chairman Derek Robbins and manager Jimmy Hill masterminded the Sky Blue revolution. The team were propelled through the divisions. A record crowd of more than 51,000 saw them beat Wolves. They'd already clinched their First Division place. The boom city of the 60s finally had a team to match its ambitions.
The sky's the limit for Coventry, Sky Blue. In triumphant procession from the ground, the team and the whole city celebrate that 3-1 victory over Millwall, which makes them champions of the Second Division. A meteoric rise to fame, it all started when Jimmy Hill took the managerial post in 1961, in partnership with club chairman Mr. Derek Robbins. They were then way down in the Third Division. 3 years later, they were up in the Second. And now, as champions, they enter the First Division for the first time in their history. This drive to the celebration banquet at the Leo Frick Hotel could well be the launching pad for a blast up to international fame. And there may be more certainty of European honours for Coventry than Britain's entry into the common market. Every Coventry supporter may want to shake every one of the team by the hand, but that's just not possible. So the Lord Mayor, Alderman Edwin Rogers, takes that responsibility on their behalf. Well done, Jimmy Hill. Well done, Coventry City.